Yeah, so many people impacted here. Correspondent Nancy Liu first saw this fire erupt during our show yesterday. She has been tracking the fires, the flames ever since then. Nancy, what is the latest on the ground there?
Nichole, I can tell you that all Southern Californians woke up this morning, if they even went to bed, with such a sense of dread of what we're going to find here in Pacific Palisades this morning. As you have mentioned, the worst of the winds not over yet. It is still quite gusty out here. We've returned to an area we were at just last night, and this condo building behind me, it was still intact last night. It is now gone. And I spoke with one of the residents as he left, and he was really torn about leaving and thinking that this building would be safe because it's pretty close to the heart of Pacific Palisades. But as you can see, it is now gone. And for a while, we've been watching a worker trying to clear debris and brush and try to wet down the side of this building to the side, Nichole, because this is a senior assisted living facility. So she's trying hard by herself to clear stuff and save this building. We saw an engine come by earlier, stop and assess the situation at this condo building, and moved on because there are just so many other areas to address right now. Everyone in this building is evacuated, but I personally fear that, when officials finally get around to assessing the situation, the casualties, it could be devastating and perhaps of historic proportions. It's just that bad moving around Pacific Palisades. And Nichole, as you know, I was in Lahaina last year. What I saw there is similar to what I'm seeing here. It is that bad, Nichole.
Yeah, and as you said there, Nancy, I mean, officials really only able to do a very cursory assessment of things. We know that thousands have, been forced to flee their homes. The people that you've spoken with, Nancy, how are residents there describing the scene?
Well, I'm hoping to, when I get a chance, head back up to the area where we were yesterday to check on the people who said that they weren't evacuating. I want to make sure they're okay. I want to preface that and mention that a lot of the cell towers are down because of the fire. So signals around here are horrible. So when we get a chance, we want to head up there and check on them. But as you can imagine, it's just been heartbreaking and devastating. On this street yesterday, I spoke with a guy who was on a bike, and he was desperate to head back to his house to check on his cat. But by that time, the flames were so bad that he couldn't go home. And that's how fast this moved, Nichole. He went out for a bike ride and thinking, come back. He couldn't even get back to his home less than an hour later. This fire moved that fast.
It just moved so fast. It came over the hillside. Embers started landing and catching things on fire, and that's when my son yelled, "Dad, we gotta get out of here." But my neighbor was still in his house, and I said, Michael, and I'm banging on his wall and saying, we gotta go. And he was really slow at getting out. He wanted to get in his car. I knew it was gonna take too long, so I just pulled him in my truck, and we got out of there. Things were burning.
And driving through a few of the neighborhoods here, I can tell you that we personally have seen dozens of homes lost. And yesterday I watched, quite a number of them as they were burning and catching fire. And embers are still a major factor this morning. The winds are still whipping. They are still a problem. The worst not over yet. So new fires could still spark up. And that's what, crews are just busy everywhere. It's just enormous what's happening out here.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.